In this video, we'll be preparing the direct materials budget. In our previous videos, we completed two budgets: the sales budget, the first budget in the master budget process, and the production budget. The sales budget for Gratman Manufacturing estimated the number of units the company is expected to sell and the sales revenue they will earn. The production budget shows the number of units Gratman Manufacturing must produce, not only to meet expected sales, but also to ensure the company has safety stock. Recall that safety stock is the inventory which is kept on hand to either meet unusual demand requirements or to allow for production issues, such as machinery breakdowns. We are now going to produce the next operating budget in the master budget process, called the direct materials budget. Just a little warning, this budget is complicated. What is the direct materials budget? This budget determines both the quantity and the cost of all the direct materials used in the production process to meet the production needs, which were of course determined in the production budget. The beginning point is to determine the number of direct material units needed. For example, a cake may need 2 cups of flour, which would be considered 2 units of direct materials. The direct materials budget is complete when it calculates how much the direct material units will cost the company. Let's continue with our example for Gratman Manufacturing to demonstrate the preparation of the direct materials budget. Gratman Manufacturing uses 6 kilograms of raw materials per component at a cost of $35 per kilogram. The company's raw material inventory policy requires that they have sufficient materials on hand at the beginning of every month to produce 30% of the next month's production requirements. This is exactly the amount of materials on hand on January 1st. Prepare the direct materials budget for the first 3 months and the quarter. Step 1 is to determine the direct material units required for production. This is the total quantity of direct materials needed. For example, if the direct materials are measured in kilograms, this formula will calculate the total number of kilograms required. We'll start with the number of units to produce, which of course we take from the production budget. Multiply it by the direct materials needed per unit, which will then determine the total quantity of direct material units needed for production. We're going to apply this formula in Step 2, prepare the direct materials budget using a chart. As always, we start with the title, including the company name, Gratman Manufacturing, the name of the budget, direct materials budget, and the date for the quarter ended March 31st. We then move on and add the necessary columns. Since we're completing the budget for the months and the quarter, we have 1 column for the descriptions, 3 columns for the months, and 1 column for the first quarter, a total of 5 columns. The headings are the description and each of the months, January, February, and March, and finally the total column, which is called first quarter. We can then use our formula from Step 1, units to produce multiplied by the direct materials needed per unit to determine the quantity needed for production. Applying this to our chart, units to produce is in the first row, direct materials needed per unit is in the second row, and quantity needed for production is in the third row. We now need to start filling out the chart, starting with the units to produce. Where do we get it? From the production budget we already completed. Looking at the last row, we will use January 8,400 units, February 9,200 units, March 9,540 units, and the first quarter 27,140 units. We'll transfer this information into the first row of our direct material budget. January 8,400 units, February 9,200 units, March 9,540 units, and finally first quarter 27,140 units. The next row is the amount of direct materials we'll need per unit, and we get that information from the question. Gratman Manufacturing uses 6 kilograms of raw materials per component, so we will use that amount in our second row. Every month and the first quarter uses the same amount, 6 kilograms. If we now multiply the units to produce by the direct materials needed per unit for each month and the first quarter, we calculate the quantity needed to produce our production needs. For January, 8,400 units multiplied by 6 kilograms is equal to 50,400 kilograms. For February, 9,200 units multiplied by 6 kilograms is equal to 55,200 kilograms. For March, 9,540 units multiplied by 6 kilograms is equal to 57,240 kilograms. And for the first quarter, 27,140 units multiplied by 6 kilograms is equal to 162,840 kilograms. This is the total direct material units needed in order to meet our production needs for the first quarter. Let's move on to Step 3. Determine the direct material requirements formula. This formula is almost identical to the formula that we used in order to complete the production budget. Starting with the quantity needed for production, which we just calculated, we add in the desired ending inventory, the safety stock that we need to ensure that there is always direct materials on hand. Quantity needed for production plus the desired ending inventory is equal to the total quantity of direct materials that we need. If we then deduct the beginning direct materials inventory that we already have on hand, we determine the quantity of direct materials that we need to purchase. Now that we have the formula, we can apply it to our chart. We'll add the desired ending inventory for direct materials to determine the total quantity needed. We then deduct the beginning direct materials inventory to determine the quantity of direct materials we will need to purchase. We now need to fill in this chart. How do we determine the desired ending inventory for direct materials? We look for the information in the question. In this case, Gratman Manufacturing believes that they can meet their production needs if they have raw materials inventory to produce 30% of next month's production requirements. So, what does that mean? It means that in January, management believes that the appropriate level of direct materials ending inventory, their desired ending inventory, is equal to 30% of the quantity needed for production in February. This means that management will take the 55,200 kilograms needed in February and multiply it by 30% to determine the desired ending inventory for January. 55,200 kilograms multiplied by 30% is equal to 16,560 kilograms. That's the desired ending inventory for January. For February, we take 30% of March's quantity needed for production, 57,240 kilograms multiplied by 30%, which is equal to 17,172 kilograms of desired ending inventory for February. But what about March? We can't take 30% of the quantity needed for production for the first quarter because that's the quantity needed for production for all 3 months. Instead, we need to add a temporary column for April. But in order to populate it, we actually have to go back to our production budget and we have to complete the April column there. That's because we need April's units to produce, the last row, in order to create the April column for the direct materials budget. So we have a bit of work to do. Recall from our work on the production budget that the desired ending inventory was 40% of the next month's estimated unit sales. Therefore, to determine April's desired ending inventory, we have to use May's estimated unit sales of 9,200. If we take May's 9,200 units and multiply it by 40%, that will be 3,680 units for the desired ending inventory for April. Estimated unit sales of 9,600 units plus desired ending inventory of 3,680 units equals total units needed of 13,280 units. The next row is less beginning inventory, which we did for January from December, February from January, and March from February. For April's beginning inventory, we'll use March's ending inventory of 3,840 units because March's ending inventory becomes April's beginning inventory. Total units needed is therefore 13,280 minus the beginning inventory of 3,840, which is equal to 9,440 units. That's April's units to produce. That's exactly what we need for the direct materials budget for April's units to produce, 9,440. We can now take the units to produce and multiply it by the direct materials needed per unit, 6 kilograms. 9,440 units multiplied by 6 kilograms is equal to 56,640 kilograms. That's the quantity needed for production. That's exactly what we need to determine March's desired ending inventory. 56,640 kilograms multiplied by 30% is equal to 16,992 kilograms, which is March's desired ending inventory. Seems like a lot of work, but that's what you need to do in order to determine March's desired ending inventory. We simply have to do the work. Now that we have this, we can make April's column disappear. What about the first quarter's desired ending direct materials inventory? Consider that the quarter covers the period from January 1st to March 31st, with March 31st as the last day in the first quarter. Given that, the desired ending direct materials inventory for the first quarter is the desired ending direct materials inventory for March, which is 16,992 kilograms. It's important to recognize that the quarter is a period of time, similar to the month, but simply made up of 3 months, which is why the desired ending direct materials inventory for March is equal to the desired ending direct materials inventory for the first quarter, which ends on the same day in March, March 31st. We can now continue with our formula by adding the quantity needed for production and the desired ending direct materials inventory to obtain the total quantity needed. On the chart, we will add the same 2 rows, quantity needed for production plus desired ending inventory for each month and the quarter. For January, 50,400 kilograms plus 16,560 kilograms equals 66,960 kilograms. For February, 55,200 kilograms plus 17,172 kilograms is equal to 72,372 kilograms. For March, 57,240 kilograms plus 16,992 kilograms is equal to 74,232 kilograms. And for the quarter, 162,840 kilograms plus 16,992 kilograms is equal to 179,832 kilograms. That is the total quantity needed for the quarter. Moving forward with the formula, we now have to deduct the beginning direct materials inventory from the total quantity needed. That's because the opening direct materials inventory is already on the shelf and must be deducted since we don't need to produce what we already have. Note that the beginning direct materials inventory for one period is equal to the desired ending inventory from the prior period. For example, the beginning direct materials inventory on February 1st is the desired ending inventory from January 31st, the end of the prior month. Therefore, the beginning direct materials inventory for February is 16,560 kilograms, which is the desired ending inventory for January. The beginning direct materials inventory for March is therefore the desired ending inventory for February, which is 17,172 kilograms. We therefore have the direct material beginning inventory for both February and March. But what about the beginning direct materials inventory for January? How are we going to calculate it? Particularly because there's no information provided in the question for December of the prior year. We were given one piece of information. Remember that we were told that the desired ending inventory is 30% of the next month's production requirements, and we were told that this is exactly what was on hand on January 1st. So we know that on January 1st, the opening direct materials inventory balance is exactly equal to December's desired ending inventory. If we now add a secret December column to the start of the chart, we can do some calculations. We don't know what the units to produce would have been for December, which means that we don't know what the quantity needed for production is. But we do know that December's desired ending inventory is 30% of the quantity needed for production in January. Therefore, 50,400 kilograms multiplied by 30% is equal to 15,120 kilograms. Perfect. We now have December's desired ending inventory, which means that we have January's beginning direct materials inventory also, 15,120 kilograms. We can now hide away the column that we created for December, well, at least until we need it again. What about the first quarter's beginning direct materials inventory? Recall that the first quarter covers the period from January 1st to March 31st, and that January 1st is the first day of the quarter. Therefore, beginning direct materials inventory for the quarter is identical to the beginning direct materials inventory for the month of January, which is 15,120 kilograms. Perfect. We have all of the beginning direct materials inventory, so we can now complete the formula for calculating the quantity to purchase by deducting the beginning direct materials inventory from the total quantity needed. We'll apply the formula to each of the months and the first quarter. For January, 66,960 kilograms minus 15,120 kilograms is equal to 51,840 kilograms. For February, 72,372 kilograms minus 16,560 kilograms is equal to 55,812 kilograms. For March, 74,232 kilograms minus 17,172 kilograms is equal to 57,060 kilograms. And finally, for the quarter, 179,832 kilograms minus 15,120 kilograms. Wow, that's equal to 164,712 kilograms. We can now do a quick check to ensure our calculations are correct. We add the quantity to purchase for January, February, and March to see if it equals the quantity to purchase for the first quarter. 51,840 kilograms plus 55,812 kilograms plus 57,060 kilograms is equal to 164,712 kilograms. Our chart works perfectly. We know exactly how many kilograms we need to purchase of direct materials for each month and for the first quarter. However, what will the direct materials inventory cost us? If we go back to the question information, we can see that the raw materials, also called direct materials, cost $35 per kilogram. This information will allow us to apply step 5, determine the cost of the direct materials to be purchased. The formula is quantity to purchase multiplied by the cost per direct material unit is equal to the cost of the direct material purchases. We can now fill in the last two rows with cost per direct material units, in this case cost per kilogram, and cost of direct material purchases. Since we know the cost per direct materials, the cost per kilogram, is $35, we can fill that in for every month and the first quarter. And we can do the multiplication for all of the columns. For January, 51,840 kilograms multiplied by $35 per kilogram is equal to $1,814,400. For February, 55,812 kilograms multiplied by $35 per kilogram is equal to $1,953,420. For March, 57,060 kilograms multiplied by $35 per kilogram is equal to $1,997,100. And for the first quarter, 164,712 kilograms multiplied by $35 per kilogram is equal to $5,764,920. That is the cost to purchase all the direct materials needed for the first quarter. That's it. We have now completed the direct materials budget, the third operating budget in the master budget. All of these budgets, the sales budget, the production budget, and the direct materials budget, are important parts of the master budgeting process. As always, thanks so much for watching. And sorry about the long video.